Well, look what we have here. A video promising to teach us how to develop a full stack app for free without writing a single line of code. I mean, who doesn't love a good fairy tale? This is about as believable as a frog turning into a prince. And trust me, I've seen my fair share of frogs. So grab your magic wands, folks, because apparently, we're about to dive into the world of coding without actually doing any coding. Sounds like a recipe for disaster. If this doesn't end in a glitchy mess or a digital catastrophe, I'll eat my old toad hat. Stick around as I wade through this nonsense and see if it's worth more than the swamp water I'm used to. And hey, if you enjoy watching me roll my eyes and groan in disbelief, don't forget to like and subscribe. I promise it'll be more entertaining than whatever this is supposed to be. Let's hop to it.
This is Bolt.DIY. I'm running locally on my computer, and in this video we are going to test Bolt.DIY with Gemini 2.0 Pro. Gemini 2.0 was recently released by Google, and this is probably one of the best model for coding performance as they claim. So in this video we are going to test that.
Here we go again with another best model claim. It's like every tech release is the second coming of coding itself. If I had a nickel for every time someone said their product was the best, I could buy myself a nice lily pad and retire. And what's with the fancy names? Gemini 2.0 Pro sounds like a spaceship, not a coding tool. Let's see if it can actually deliver or if it's just another overhyped gadget that will end up gathering dust.
In this video we're going to test that. First thing first, you need to download and install Bolt.DIY locally on your computer. I have covered that.
Oh, the classic download and install part. It's like the tech version of first. You need to turn on your computer. If I had $1 for every time I had to install something just to find out it's a glorified paperweight, I'd be lounging on a nice rock in my swamp. Let's hope Bolt.DIY isn't just another digital disappointment.
I have covered that several times in my YouTube videos, but in this video I'll just give you like a short quick guideline that how you can install and download Bolt.DIY locally on your computer. Just go to this URL, which is Bolt.DIY, open that, and it will actually reloads to this hub repository. Next, we just need to clone this repository, and simply just you need to click on this drop down and then click on this link. So just copy this URL from here, just this URL, just copy that, or simply just copy it from here. After that, open any folder on your computer where you want to install Bolt.DIY. Simply just right click on open in terminal, and after that just write this command, which is git clone, and then paste that URL from there and then press enter. I have already installed that, so I won't press enter. It will install Bolt.DIY like this on your computer. What you need to do, you need to simply just open that and then again open that inside your terminal. You can do that directly from your terminal, but I just like, because if you're a beginner, you might get confused by running some commands, so I just like recommend you using this. So just click on open in terminal.
Oh, the classic let's make it easier for beginners spiel. It's like saying, don't worry, I'll hold your hand while we cross this tech minefield. If you need a tutorial just to open a terminal, maybe coding isn't your calling. But hey, if it helps folks avoid blowing up their computers, I guess it's not all bad. Just remember, if you mess up, don't come crying to me from the swamp.
Open in terminal directly, and now it will actually open Bolt.DIY in your terminal. Next up, go back to your GitHub repository of Bolt. Scroll down and come to this section, and in this section which says running the application, just copy this command, copy that from there, and then paste that inside your terminal, just like the way actually I did. So in here I actually just pasted that command here, and just it just runs that command in here. After that, I'll just copy this command from here and then paste that here. So this is how I actually pasted that. And once you have done that, it will actually take some time. It will take maybe like 5-10 minutes to download and install all of the dependencies and everything that is required to run Bolt.DIY. And once you have done that, simply just copy this command, this one, pnp run dev, and then run that command again. And then this is it will actually give you this localhost URL. Just copy this localhost URL, and then you can open that in your Chrome browser. Officially, they recommend you using Chrome Canary browser. Doesn't matter if you
The classic use this specific browser advice. Chrome Canary sounds like a fancy bird, but I'm not sure I want to be the one testing it. It's like saying, hey, use this experimental version that might crash your whole system. If you're not careful, you'll end up with a browser that's more temperamental than a toad in a thunderstorm. Just remember, if it all goes south, don't blame me.
It doesn't matter if you don't have that, you can simply just download that from Google. Just look for Chrome Canary browser. This is the Chrome Canary browser. You can simply just download it from Google. Once you have done that, just open this localhost URL in your browser, just like that. When you open it for the first time, it will just show you a blank screen, and If you just refresh that, it will just open normally, and after that it will show you these options to add, like access these API keys from here. In here, just look for open router, just click on open router, and after open router, just simply click on this drop down and look for Gemini 2.0 experimental model, because experimental one is free. So Gemini Flash Lite, Gemini Flash 2.0. So what you need to do, you need to simply just get this Gemini Pro 2.0 experimental. So let's just use Gemini Pro 2.0 experimental. It has a big context, so I think this should be good enough for us to like create a landing page. Let's see. So simply just click on that, and after that, let's just give it a prompt to create something. Let's start with a simple prompt and see how it works. So I'll just open my speech to text. You can open that.
Finally, we're getting to the fun part. Giving it a prompt. It's like watching a toddler take their first steps, except this toddler is powered by a fancy algorithm and has a better chance of success. Let's see if this so-called Gemini Pro 2.0 experimental can actually whip up something decent. If it can't even manage a simple landing page, I might just have to croak in disappointment.
So you can open that on your Windows or on your Mac. I'll just press Windows key plus H, and it will just open this for me. Please create a landing page for my dental clinic. Create this in next.js. Use Tailwind CSS. Create a professional and modern design. Let's just see like what it comes up with. So I'll just press enter. The request processing your request, custom error, missing API key for open router.
Well, look at that. We've hit a snag already. A missing API key. It's like trying to start a car without the keys. Good luck getting anywhere. This is the kind of hiccup that makes you question if all the setup was worth it. Let's hope they can sort this out. Or we might be stuck staring at a blank screen longer than I'd like to admit.
Provider. All right. Sorry, I just missed one step. You need to provide open router API key in here. So what you need to do, you need to simply just go to open router and just create an API key in here. So just go to open router and log in with your Google. There is no, you don't need to attach any bank account details or anything. Simply just click on create API key and then name it something, and then you can just create that. And then after that, simply just copy that API key from there and then just paste that API key here, press enter, and now it should be good enough to start. So let me just copy that prompt from here. Let me just start a new chat and then paste that here. Let me just switch back to Gemini Pro 2 experimental and paste that command and press enter. So it should work now. Perfect. So it is working now. Okay. So apparently speed is okay. Not too bad.
Finally, we've got some action. It's about time this thing started working. If the speed is decent, maybe there's hope for this Bolt.DIY after all. But let's not get too excited just yet. We're still in the early stages. I've seen faster slugs in my bog. Let's see if it can actually deliver a decent landing page without crashing and burning.
Because the problem that we have with Bolt.DIY usually is speed, because it's too slow. Yeah, I mean, still is slow. It is just running this command first of all to create our next project. So then install Tailwind and initialize Tailwind CSS as well. So let's just wait for it to finish everything to run this command. So okay, so it is asking us to, would you like to use TypeScript? I want to use TypeScript. Okay, all of that, just press enter. All right, perfect. So now it has created a basic next.js project, which is good. It has created this directory, dental file clinic app. Okay, that's fine. Now it is creating these files as well. So that's fine. This is good. Speed is okay for so far. And there was an error. I'll just click on ask bot to fix this error. So
the classic ask the bot to fix it move. It's like calling in a tech support fairy to wave a wand over your problems. If this bot can actually sort out the error, I might just have to give it a reluctant nod of approval. But let's be real, if it can't handle a simple fix, we might be in for a long bumpy ride. Fingers crossed it doesn't crash and burn.
Error, so it will just now fix that error. So yeah, speed is fine. I mean, I'm not too bothered by speed at the moment. So it has now apparently 2 Next.js projects in here. Okay, so I think apparently it has messed up. So let's just give it another try. Now it is creating the third one. Come on. Okay.
Oh great, now we're creating a third project like it's some kind of assembly line. If this keeps up, we'll have more projects than I have flies buzzing around my bog. Let's hope this one doesn't end up in the digital dumpster. Come on, Bolt.DIY. Don't let me down now.
Okay, let's just give it a try. We just copy that prompt from that previous project in here. Let's not mention Next.js. let's just like give it a prompt as it is without mentioning anything about Next.js. So I'll just do that. Landing page for my landing clinic. Okay. All right. So I'll just press enter. I'll said, please create a landing page for my clinic. Okay, fine. Now it is going to use white. That is another framework. So that's fine. Let's see what it does. I mean, by default, if we don't mention any tech stack, so what it builds in that case. So hopefully it should be fine now. But as you can see, like we are using Gemini Pro 2.0. The speed is fine. I mean, because previously whenever we use, okay, so yeah, this is what it has created. It's an ugly website, to be honest, but.
Well, there it is. The masterpiece we've all been waiting for. An ugly website, huh? It's like a toad in a tuxedo. It just doesn't quite fit. If this is what Bolt.DIY can whip up, I'd hate to see what it considers a disaster. But hey, at least it's functional. Right? Just remember, folks, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Or in this case, the eye of the desperate clinic owner.
To be honest, but it has created something which is amazing, I mean, we should appreciate that. Okay,
hold on a second. Did I just hear the word amazing in relation to that website? It's like calling a muddy puddle a pristine lake. Sure, it's something, but let's not get carried away here. I'll give credit where it's due. At least it's functional, but amazing. That's a stretch even a frog wouldn't leap for. Let's see if it can actually handle some real content without falling apart.
Appreciate that. Okay, let's just ask it to enhance that design. So please enhance this design. I can see there are a lot of sections with black background. Please create the entire design in a seamless way. Make it more professional. Let's not give it any like particular guidelines to like design like specific color combinations. This is like give it this like general guidelines. Next, we actually gonna give it a particular guidelines as well, but let's just for now give it a general guideline. All right, so it has just updated that. Yeah, I mean, design is still ugly. We cannot, there is no like.
Oh well, it seems the design is still as appealing as a swamp in midsummer. Updating it didn't exactly turn it into a masterpiece, did it? It's like putting a bow on a toad. It's still a toad. If this is what enhanced looks like, I'd hate to see what it looked like before. At this rate, we might need a miracle or a professional designer to save this landing page.
Oh, like, I mean, we have to accept that design is still ugly. Okay, let's just give it a proper.
Finally, someone's willing to admit it. The design is still ugly. It's like trying to polish a rock and expecting it to shine like a diamond. Let's see if giving it a proper set of guidelines can actually turn this thing around. If not, we might just have to embrace the chaos and call it artistic expression. Here's hoping for a miracle.
Let's give it a proper design like this screenshot. Please follow the color combination, follow the text style, the font style, and overall design pattern. Another way of doing this, actually, we can use something like copy coder, but copy coder is actually, so we can't really use that. So because it will cost like $15 to just like use a tool that will convert this image into kind of a prompt. So you can totally use ChatGPT, or you can use DeepSeek, or you can simply just input that image into DeepSeek and ChatGPT and then ask it to like create a detailed prompt. It can do that. We can try that in a minute, but let's see for now what it creates for us. But I'm happy actually using this way, because this way it's much faster, because on LM Studio, it depends on what are the specs of your computer. If you don't have good specs, if you don't have good GPU, the LLM will not run that smoothly on your computer, and then you'll end up having like very slow experience. So that's not something that we want. Okay, so it has now updated that. It has now created a better
Oh, look at that. It's a better design. Or at least that's what we're calling it now. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a rickety old shed. Still not a mansion, but at least it's not falling apart. Let's see if this one can actually hold its own without collapsing under the weight of expectations. Fingers crossed it doesn't turn back into a pumpkin.
A better design. Okay, cool. That's better comparatively, but still is far away from what we actually want. Okay, now.
So we've upgraded from ugly to better, but it's still not quite hitting the mark, huh? It's like getting a slightly less muddy toad. Still not winning any beauty contests. At least we're making progress. But if this is the best it can do, we might need to bring in a professional designer before we scare away any potential patients.
Let's just do another experiment. Let's just look for another design. And then what we're going to do, we're going to ask ChatGPT or Gemini. Yeah, let me just take a screenshot. Let me just download that. Let's just go to maybe DeepSeek, or you can use ChatGPT if you want to use. Let me just create a new one. Oh, sorry, hold on. I cannot actually do that with please see that as screenshot. This is screenshot of a website. I want to create exactly similar kind of website design in Bolt New. It's a coding agent. Please create a prompt for it. Okay, it has not extracted text from there. Is that too big? Maybe screenshot is too big. Okay, this is use chat. Let me just press enter. And now what it will do, it will just create a prompt for me, and then I'll just enter that prompt in Bolt.DIY. So it is actually asking to create using next dot. That's fine. It works fine by using this open router, like by using this API key. It works fine. It's usable now, because while using it with like Olama or LLM Studio, it was not usable at all. All right, let me just go back. Let me just create a new chat. Yeah, this is good enough to like start. You can actually import that in Cursor, maybe another coding agent. You can actually like carry on customizing it. Okay, let's start a new chat, and then let's just ask it to create this. Press enter and see if it actually takes a detailed prompt, a long prompt, because it's a very detailed, lengthy prompt, because it has a bigger context window, so it should be fine to like do that. So okay, so now it has asked us to create. Okay, fine. Just make sure that you keep an eye on Bolt terminal, because it will ask you to like press enter to accept like some things. So all right, apparently it has created something basic. All right, let's just see. It is creating all of these files. It is creating different components: image gallery, testimonials, dental, implant, center, promotions, services, hero section, header section. Perfect. That's what we want. Exactly. So it is actually working fast enough to, I mean, this is easily usable. Seriously. Now it is fast comparatively, and we can.
Well, it seems like we've finally hit a sweet spot. Fast and usable. Now that's a combination I can get behind. If it can keep this pace up, we might just have a decent landing page on our hands after all. Let's see if it can maintain this momentum and deliver something that doesn't make me want to dive back into the swamp.
And we can use like this kind of complete front end. Let's see if it does that. So it is creating this in white. That's fine. Yep, it is creating like good enough code. Speed is good. It's more optimized this time. There's an error.
The classic good enough code moment. It's like finding a decent meal in a fast food joint. Better than nothing. But you're still not sure if you should be impressed. And of course, there's an error lurking around. It wouldn't be a proper coding session without one. Right? Let's see if they can squash that bug and keep this momentum going.
An error. I'll just click on that and it will just solve that error. Yeah, this is good. I mean, this is much enhanced version of Bolt. It is a better way to use this way, like with, okay, perfect. So it has created a basic login. And
look at that. A basic login screen. It's like the cherry on top of this coding sundae. If this is what the enhanced version of Bolt can whip up, I might just start believing in its potential. Let's hope it doesn't crumble under the pressure of actual users. A login screen is a good start, but it's what happens next that really counts.
Login and basic registration. I'll just give it a password. Should be 12345. Click on login, and now it has created this title. Yeah. Okay, cool. Fine. Yeah. It's very basic.
Well, there it is. A very basic title screen. It's like the appetizer before the main course. Sure, it's functional, but cool and fine don't exactly scream excitement. If this is the best it can do, we might need to spice things up a bit. Let's see if it can evolve from basic to something that actually impresses.
It's horrible, I know. We can create much better, but it does write code. So yeah, I think you should use.
Well, looks like we've hit the horrible mark again. It's like a roller coaster of emotions with this app. Sure, it writes code, but if the end result is this lackluster, we might need to rethink our strategy. If this is the best it can muster, I'd say it's time for a serious upgrade. Let's hope it can pull off a miracle in the next round.
If you want to use Bolt.DIY.
So there you have it, folks. We just waded through the murky waters of Bolt.DIY Gemini Pro 2.0, the fairy tale of app development without a single line of code. I went in expecting pixie dust and came out with a lump of swamp muck instead. My skepticism was certainly rewarded. This was less of a revolutionary tool and more of a glorified tutorial on how to be mildly frustrated with interfaces. From promises of the best model to the classic "you need to install this so it might work," every step felt like crossing a shaky log over a bottomless bog. And in the end, we ended up with a landing page that looked about as appealing as my old swamp shack. Sure, it did deliver something functional, and I'll begrudgingly admit there's a faint glimmer of potential hidden in there. But let's not kid ourselves into thinking it's winning any beauty contests, or even participation ribbons. So, if you enjoyed watching me groan through this chaos, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I promise it'll be more consistent than the quality of this app. Until next time, remember, even the fanciest coding tools can't mask the stench of mediocrity. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to hop back to my bog before I get too impressed, because that might just make me croak.